You're listening to I Communicate with your host, Mark Altman, on Full Service Radio, AM 830 WCRN. Once again, here's Mark.
All right, we're back with Dale Scott. Dale, it's been really an enlightening hour about a lot of insight from your experience. And I want to transition now, Dale, to a decision you made a few years ago. And I have to tell you, I want to start with a headline I read on the internet because I think it speaks so much to the approach you took. It says, Major League Baseball umpire Dale Scott comes out as gay in the quietest way possible. And I got such a chuckle out of that because you very rarely see those two expressions together. So,
my closet door is very quiet.
Very quiet. So, Dale, just first want to talk a little bit about, what prompted this and, what it's been like since you made the decision to do so.
Well, first of all, the people I worked for at Major League Baseball, the people that signed my checks, the umpires that I worked with on the field, they all knew I was gay. They had known for years. So when I came out in December of 2014 publicly, that wasn't a big bombshell for them. Now, it was news to the teams and to the media and to the fans and that type of stuff. What prompted it was a few things. First of all, The year before that, November of 2013, I married Michael, my husband. But we in fact, last week we just celebrated our 32nd year together.
Congratulations!
Thank you very much. We had met in October of 1986, and so we officially were married the year before that I came out, and I thought we've come so far as a community. We've gotten this marriage equality thing that 10 years earlier was about 60-40 against is now 60-40 in favor. I mean, the attitudes of the American public to this topic and it changed dramatically. And I thought, what is the point of all the work and everything that all these pioneers went through in our community to try to get us to this point, and me continuing in the closet. I just married somebody I've been with for the majority of my life, and it just didn't seem right. It didn't seem like that all this progress had been made, and I actually was able to get married. Yet I'm still denying who I am publicly, and I just thought it's time, and so it was something that I had thought about a little bit, but and let's face it, it was easier for me because I was a 27 year veteran or whatever. I'd already worked, postseason. I was a crew chief, so it wasn't like I was trying to establish myself. I would have never even dreamed of this the first few years I was in the big leagues, just because it would have, blown my mind, and it was a different time.
But Dale,
so that's what prompted it. I just thought it was time, and I went ahead and did it.
Okay, so a couple of thoughts. So first of all, I'm not giving that to you. It was easier for you. I mean, you're so humble about it. You make it sound so routine. But when we've seen Billy Beans of the world and Jason Collins in the NBA, and we've seen the scrutiny and the scuttlebutt come out, I don't care what stage you're at in your career, it still takes a lot of courage and a big risk. So I want to ask you: is this something? Did you know as a kid you were gay? Is it something you realized at some point in adulthood? When did you have this realization?
Well, as I look back on my, growing up in my childhood stuff, I kind of adopted the fact that I officially came out to myself when I was 19. But
okay.
Looking back, I was born this way. I mean, I remember as a kid having a crush on the neighborhood boy, and I didn't understand it, but it was natural for me. It just that was normal to me. But I didn't put a label on it, and I certainly was cognizant enough to know that I couldn't tell people about it. But that being said, it still was what I felt naturally. It wasn't forced. It wasn't. It just seemed right for me. I just also realized it wasn't something that I could express, and at that point. finally, kind of like what I had talked about earlier, an official has kind of a black and white, they look at something and they deal with it. I just remember one day, I figured it all out. One day I looked in the mirror and I said, hey, you know what? Now I got it. I figured it out. You're gay, dude. You're gay. That's what you are. And so now, how are you going to deal with it? And I just refused to be somebody that was going to look in the mirror every day the rest of my life and lie to myself. And I wasn't going to lie to a woman and get married and have kids because society tells me that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to be true to myself. But I also realized, at that time, and this was, 1979, that I could not. Okay, I'm gay, and I'm okay with that, frankly. But I also understand that, I can't tell everybody. I can't just come out. I can't just, I'm going to have to what I call play the game. I got to play that little social game and those little white lies and deceptions because that what I was not accepted socially.
So Dale, since you've done that. Since you came out in 2014, have any players, not looking for names, but have any players, umpires, coaches, professional athletes in other sports, have they contacted you and said, Dale, thank you so much, even because they're not courageous enough to do it? Have you had contact from those wishing they could and admiring you for doing so?
Well, the very first, I came out in December of 2014. In March of 2015, my very first spring training game, it was the Reds-Indians, and I remember about the third inning, I was over at third base, and Marlon Byrd was an outfielder for the Reds at that point. And he had been around a long time. I'd known Marlon Byrd as, he's with several teams. And I remember he ran up, he goes, Dale, and he gave me this huge bear hug.
Oh, that's awesome.
He said, I am so proud of you, dude. I am so proud of you. He goes, at least, you're now free, man. You're free, and I'm so proud of you. And I didn't expect that at all. And it was really just a warm gesture, and it meant a lot to me. But that being said, that year I had him and about 3 other players said anything at all. I had one base coach that I'd known a long time that said, was how courageous and brave I was for to come out on that stage. He said he had a nephew, his brother's son was gay, and he understood the complexities and the issues that dealt with, and he was really very warm words to me. And I had one trainer for one of the teams confide in me that he was gay, and he wasn't out to the club afraid that he would lose. Next time his contract came up, he wouldn't be renewed. But so I had that happen. But I had a ton of emails that I got after this all came out, and it was from firefighters and policemen and soccer officials and football officials and all different officials, all different lines of work from all over the world that said, I am so happy to hear this. I'm so proud of you. I've been contemplating doing this myself. I'm not sure if I'm ready yet, but I'm a step closer because of your story and what you've done, and it kind of broke the barrier, or at least gave them some confidence that they may be able to do this at some point. And that means the world to me because, growing up, I didn't have anybody that I could look up to and say, hey, it's okay. I had to kind of go through those, as most guys and women have to, kind of had to go through those minefields, that obstacle course on your own and try to figure it all out. So it's been extremely positive, in my situation, and the negative comments that I've got, quite frankly, I haven't been to my face. I'm sure they're out there. Don't get me wrong. I'm not naive, but it just wasn't something that's been, thrown in my face.
Okay, Dale, we're going to go to a very quick commercial. We'll be right back. But when we come back, I want to talk a little bit about the term of role model. And I think in this case, what I want you to think about when we come back from the break is if a professional Major League Baseball player were to contact you and say, hey, Dale, I'm thinking of coming out. You inspired me. When we come back from the break, I'd love to know how you would handle that situation and what you would guide them on to make their decision. So we'll be right back.